Feel like you shy away from socializing or have some difficulties with it, but you're unsure if you're just shy, introverted, or if you actually have a problem with social anxiety. Well, today I'm going to share 5 signs that you might have social anxiety and not just be shy. So, before we get started, I want to say that I have social anxiety disorder myself, which is why I decided to make this video to help others who might be unsure. So this list is also going to be based off my own experiences, and I really want to emphasize the fact that everyone's anxiety is different. So things that really bother me might not bother you as much as they bother me, and vice versa. As a really good example of this, I know a lot of people who have social anxiety who are absolutely terrified of crowds of people, but they can do okay in one-on-one and small group situations. I'm the complete opposite of that. If I'm in a crowd, I feel a lot better than if I'm in a one-on-one conversation. So yeah, everyone is different, and keep that in mind when watching this video. Anyway, on to the signs. Sign number 1 is that you plan conversations long beforehand. So if you want to ask someone something, or you have something to say to someone, instead of just saying it, or saying it in a couple of minutes, you find yourself going through the conversation in your head hours, days, sometimes even weeks or longer in advance. Now, I want to stress that doing this itself is actually pretty normal. I think probably every person who is watching this video now, every single one of you has probably rehearsed a conversation in your head before. There's nothing wrong with doing this occasionally, everyone does. But if you find yourself doing this all of the time, it might be a sign that there's something more to it. Particularly if it's accompanied with unpleasant feelings and you're finding yourself really stressing about the conversation ahead. Sign number 2, you get really hyped up and excited for an event, and then when the event comes, you never go. So social anxiety can get in the way of your ability to go out and do the things you love. This can range from mild, from only having problems with really big events or like stuff like speaking in front of a big audience, to really severe where you find it difficult to even leave the house whatsoever. Now, it's one thing to skip out on a party, concert, trip or other event just because you don't feel like going. That's fine, you know, sometimes an event might be really cool but you just don't feel like it. But if you find that you're getting really excited, you're getting hyped up, you know, your favourite band is in town and you want to see them and you're looking forward to it for months, and then when the day comes you just can't bring yourself to go, that is a sign that you might have social anxiety or some other major anxiety issue. Because you clearly want to go but something is preventing you from going, and this is quite common with social anxiety. This is something that has happened to me many times over the years. Sign number 3, you really hate phone calls or voice chatting. Now, as I mentioned earlier, people are different. And for some people, this is going to be easier than for others. There are some people with social anxiety who don't find phone calls a big deal, or who find them at least easier than face-to-face interactions. For me personally though, and a lot of other people that I know, I actually tend to find phone calls or voice chatting way harder than face-to-face interactions. I think there's some kind of pressure when you're like talking on the phone, that it's like the interaction is only for a set amount of time, and so you feel more pressured to say everything right and to hear everything they said right and so on. So there's just this added pressure to it that makes it even worse than a face-to-face interaction, which I already find hard, and so as a result I really hate phone calls. This is also why you don't see me at the minute offering any like face-to-face coaching options, even though I do have an email coaching service and I have various courses and so on. Since phone calls and voice chatting is just something really uncomfortable for me. And when I'm teaching you guys, I want to be as comfortable as possible so I can give you the best information and the best teaching possible. If having to make a phone call gets your heart racing, or the sound of a ringing phone gets you nervous, then there might be something to it and you might have social anxiety. Sign number 4, eye contact feels extremely difficult. Just like what I said before, you know, everyone is different here, but social anxiety causes you to be extremely self-conscious about what you say and do, and while this can express itself in lots of different ways, a very common way is to have difficulty with eye contact, often feeling like eye contact is really overwhelming and struggling to maintain it. I definitely have this issue myself, and it's something I've been working on over the years, trying to make more of an effort to make proper eye contact rather than just avoiding it. And some people also find that this nervousness around eye contact causes the opposite problem, where you find yourself just staring into people's eyes constantly, unable to break eye contact because you're worried that you're gonna, be perceived weirdly if you don't keep eye contact. This one hasn't been such a problem for me, but I know a lot of people have reported that as well. And it stems from the same issue of basically overthinking eye contact while it's happening. So if you find yourself looking away, unable to maintain contact, or always staring, or just constantly thinking, am I making enough eye contact, am I making too much, and so on, then it might be a sign that you have social anxiety. Sign number 5, you overthink things that you said or did long after they happened. Much like planning conversations long beforehand, it is actually completely normal to overthink things after they happened. To look back at that event from years ago and think, oh my god, that was really cringy, why did I do that? So don't worry if you do that from time to time. What's not normal, however, is to do this constantly. Every time you go out somewhere, when you come home, you're overthinking all the little things that you might have said or done that you perceive as wrong or embarrassing or cringy or whatever. And this can sometimes go for, days, weeks, or even months or years after the event for practically everything that you do. If you have that, then there is a good sign that you have social anxiety. You might also notice, if you have social anxiety, that you're always focusing on the negatives of social events. So, if you go out and you do something really embarrassing and you come home, then yeah, you think about that and it didn't turn out quite how you like. But if you go out and you have everything go really, really well, you have a great night with your friends, and you come back and you find yourself still picking out all the little negatives, that one little thing that you did that you feel was embarrassing, or that time you stuttered in the middle of a conversation. If you think about all of those little things every time after events, there is a good chance that you have social anxiety. So what do you do from there? Well, I do have a couple of other videos about it on my channel, so I do recommend checking those out. And I'm also planning to make more videos on social anxiety in future, because as I said, it's something that I have, and so it's something I kind of feel strongly about, and I'd like to be able to help other people who have it. So do make sure you subscribe and enable notifications so you can stay up to date if I do make more videos on the subject. If you do want to keep watching, search my channel for more videos on it, or just check out the 2 videos linked on screen. Go check out one of those, and I will see you soon. Take care.